Hey guys, when I'm at home, I love to cook healthy meals for my friends and my family, and I cook 3-4 nights a week. But sometimes I'm in a rush, I'm on the road, I just don't have the time, and I end up eating unhealthy. And with cars, they say cheap, fast, and good, pick two. You can say the same thing about food, right? Cheap, fast, and nutritious, and you gotta pick two. So, there's something new. It's called Vite Ramen. I love ramen. You probably love ramen too. But usually it either tastes like junk food or garbage. Vite Ramen is the world's first nutritionally complete ramen. It only takes 3 minutes to make. I made it myself a bunch. I tried it. It's tasty. It tastes almost like junk food. But Vite Ramen has 25% of the daily value of all essential vitamins and minerals. It has 30 grams of complete protein, no artificial preservatives, nothing's been fried, and it tastes good. The easiest thing you can do to eat healthy is to cook fresh fruits and vegetables and meats at home. But you don't always have time, you don't always have money, you don't always have the energy. Vite Ramen can replace fast food, it can replace frozen dinners, and it can replace takeout and give you more nutrition for less money than all of them. So hit the link in the description. I got a special discount code for you. Order up a pack, try it for yourself. Thanks for listening. Enjoy this video. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a spectacular summer day here at the Angeles Forest and a new Lamborghini. This is the 2020. We're on 2020 now. This is the 2020 Lamborghini Huracan Evo, short for Evolution, I imagine. It's the Gen 2 of the Huracan. Normally they would go with an LP type moniker, but since they kept that from the beginning here, Huracan Evo it is. The long and short of it is that you get the powertrain of the Performante. That's the 640 horsepower V10 with 442 pounds of torque. And they put that in the, quote, regular Huracan. This is the entry level car now. Starts at $260 grand for the coupe, $287 for the convertible. This one is pretty basic. It does not have many options, although I don't have a window sticker. I don't see any egregious optioning on this particular car, so let's assume it's closer to the base. Updates you can see. There's a new front bumper that's got even now with more hexagons. There's a new rear bumper now with more diffuser and more center exit exhaust. They moved that exhaust up into the middle. They redesigned the engine cover a bit, and that's pretty much what you can see. Some new wheels, still on Pirelli P0 Corsa rubber. What you can't see, we've got four-wheel steering and magnetic ride control now standard on the Evo. It does weigh 3,500 pounds, give or take the same as before. That's an estimate. We don't have an official weight yet. The real story is the recalibration of the computers, what they're calling LDVI. That's Lamborghini Dinamica Veicolo Integrata. Basically, what that is in the past, all the computers for steering, powertrain, transmission, engine, suspension, all of these computers, body control module, they were all separate. They have integrated all of them into one computer. And so the theory is that now you have better control over everything. The car is better at dealing with itself. It can make decisions faster, which leads you to better performance and more stability. So let's see how it goes. And let's just start, with a launch. We'll go into Corsa. They say 0 to 60 in 2.9. Some of my magazine colleagues suspect it is less. Let's just do a launch. That was a heavy-hitting launch, my friends. Heavy-hitting indeed. My eyeballs just got sucked back into my head. All right. This is Corsa. I'm going to go into sport. We'll start in sport. Okay. So, this car, the Huracan Evo, is the pinnacle of the performance technology Lambo's got right now. But friendly-ized, if that's a word. for the last 4 days, I have been daily driving this car. Not to single out a YouTube channel called Daily Driven Exotics, but it's very easy to daily drive any modern exotic. It is not a sacrifice in the least. The downside of daily driving it is that I am tall, and let me actually pull over to point this out to you, because doing it while driving seems awful counterproductive. I can fit in this car, right? My head barely grazes the ceiling, but I can fit, okay? I have more legroom than the Spider, thank God. But to see, that's a different story. The roof liner comes down. These come down. So to sit in it, sure. To drive it, I'm doing this. You see what's happening here? Crunch. That's my spine being crunched. And my spine being crunched means that my back hurts after a couple of hours of driving the car, which is unfortunate. But if you are tall like me, and even if on the test drive you fit, you may have an issue down the line with some discomfort. Now, fast. Is it? Oh yeah. Oh, it's fast. It's really fast. It's also very stable and very solid. Whereas the McLaren 720 will proudly get a little tail happy on you. This really is about the composure. It has both brake vectoring and torque vectoring in order to reduce the drama. All the drama Lamborghini wants is coming from back there, and they don't really want any drama underneath the car. They don't want the car moving around. And so there's one thing this car does particularly well. It's give you a very solid, planted feel. The trade-off for that is not a ton of steering feel, not a ton of actual personality. It does feel a bit clinical, even with that sound. What happened there was, I went all the way to redline, but because I'm in sport mode, it does upshift at redline. In Corsa mode, track mode, you're full manual, no upshifting at redline. Unlike Porsche, which would prefer you let the car shift itself on the track, Lamborghini would rather you did your own shifting when you got to the circuit. Power band is way up high. Now the car's still pretty quick, even if you mid-range kind of short shift it, but the difference between a short shift and a full gear pull is massive. Peak torque, 442 pounds of it, is well up at 6,500 RPM. I'm not even there yet. That's peak torque. Peak horsepower is at 8,000, so in theory, the traditional, quote, usable power band is going to be between your peak torque and your peak power. In this car, that really means you only have 1,500 RPM to play with. Of course, the truth is, most of the time, what's going on here? Oh, yeah, sure. The truth is, most of the time, you're going to be well under peak torque and still using quite a bit of power. But if you really want to get the most of it, it's up here. Up here is where we live. We live up here. 8,000. But Jesus, if you run the if you run the gears out, like, oh my God, are you going so fast? Woo! Yikes! This thing is super fast. You know, if we're talking performance, the differences at this level are you need a stopwatch, you need a racetrack. On the street, it's really just going to be how does it make you feel, you know, and makes me feel like it's fast. We'll just use a little nose lift here, flip around. Nose lift is actually very good in the Lambos. It works really well. It's fast, responsive. It doesn't freak out when you're turning the wheel. For instance, McLaren's nose lift, if your wheels are turned, it won't work. This one, on, off, up, down, all the time, not a problem. Goes down at 40-something miles an hour. Cyclist, give him some room. On the highway, the sport mode is pretty drony. You really want to go in strata mode, quiet mode. Look, I'll show you. Look, here's how quiet we get. Look, see that? The tone is just gone completely. Look now, all of that Lambo tone comes from the opening of the baffles in that exhaust. Which brings me to another point. When I drove the SVJ not long ago, the Aventador SVJ, it had a mode called Eco Mode, which sounds silly, but it would allow you to individually choose your engine, your suspension, and your volume of engine settings, your powertrain settings individually. This car doesn't have that, so I can't put it in loud, fun powertrain mode with supple suspension combined. It won't allow me to do that. It only allows me to adjust sport, Strata, Sport, Corsa all together. So my personal preference would be to use the Strata suspension, which actually is pretty wonderfully supple, with the Sport powertrain and the Corsa exhaust setting. That would be my perfect setting, but unfortunately it seems I can't create that setting. Other sports cars that have adjustable settings do give you a little more control over those individually. Bobbing. It's a little heavy for a supercar, 3,500 pounds, but that heaviness also gives you a sure-footed feeling and a real solid feeling too. Sometimes it's counterintuitive, like the Ford GT is so light, but that carbon fiber, it feels really thin and tinny, which can confuse you into thinking it feels cheap. This is a more traditional, solid luxury feel. Woo-hoo. Are so long. Because the power band is so long and it's up so high. Because of the all-wheel drive and the torque vectoring, you can get back on that power really early. Ceramic brakes, standard, pretty good. I don't know about on the track, but they are pretty good and they are not too grabby. In most of these sections, I'm actually a gear too high. I'm not used to having all these revs. Hit redline by accident and got an upshift there. Now we'll go to Corsa. Corsa is going to be stiffest suspension, gauges change to race car. The pops and bangs go away because it removes some of the theater in exchange for pace. Now we're on Big Tahunga, which is very bumpy, and it's a little too bumpy for this suspension setting, but let's see how it goes. It does give you an extra kick. The gearbox shifts real lazily in Strata, very smoothly in Sport, and they give you that kick in Corsa. Okay, downsides, are there a couple? Yes, I talked about the headroom versus visibility. Lamborghini has a new radio for them. They're not using the Audi joint anymore. It's a touchscreen, it's proprietary, and in my first 4 days with the car, it's a brand new car, 500 miles on it, it's been a little buggy, the system. It's frozen once, it didn't want to change modes another time. It's a little buggy, and so it may need an update, or maybe you need to wait it out. I'm not entirely sure, but sorry about that. But sometimes, Audi software may be for the best. Nevertheless, it does look good. This car's rad. It's real fast. It's more comfortable than the Performante. The coupe has more room than the Spider, although if you're over 6 feet tall, you may experience some of the issues that I've experienced regarding visibility and craning your neck. But it's a rowdy piece of hardware. At 260 grand, it's well cheaper than a new 720S, and it's also cheaper than a new Ferrari 488. And it's a really nice evolution for the Huracan brand. So thank you to Lamborghini for letting me have a go in this for 4 days. I really appreciate that. Thank you to you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.